What's up, guys? The Snowman here, and today I've got my 2020 Women's US Open preview. Check out my men's preview as well, but the draws are fresh off the press, just out. And before we dig into these draws for the second Grand Slam of the year, I want to talk about who will not be in New York on the women's side, and several top players out because of the COVID-19 pandemic, plenty of travel health concerns, also a few players injured. So here's the list. No world number one, Ash Barty, who is staying in Australia. We also don't have the number two player in the world, Simona Halep. She did not feel safe traveling. More top 10 players, Svitolina, Bertens, Bencic. The reigning U.S. Open champ, Andreescu, is unfortunately injured, so she's not in New York. It's definitely a weakened pool. Other Grand Slam champs not traveling due to COVID, Kuznetsova, Ostapenko, and Sam Stosur. And pulling up the first section now of the Women's U.S. Open draw, I can't stress enough how wide open this field is, especially with all those top 10 players out. And just this week in New York, we saw the number one seed, Karolina Pliskova, along with the two seed Sofia Kenin, both lose in their opening matches. So it's just a lot of parity on the women's game right now. And, if you're a betting man or woman, pay attention to those underdogs, especially with all the time off. Expect a bevy of upsets. And we've got the aforementioned world number three, Karolina Pliskova. She is the one seed for the U.S. Open on the women's side. She was upset by Veronika Kudermetova this week. The big serving Pliskova will have her hands full in this section if she's to get back to the U.S. Open final like back in 2016, especially with a couple of dangerous Americans in her mini section, Cece Bellis and Jennifer Brady. Bellis back from 4 surgeries already in her young career, but she's had some good results lately. And Jennifer Brady just won the tournament in Lexington, so they would make an entertaining second round match. Also note former top 10 player, the French woman Caroline Garcia, towards the top there. The number 17 seed, the 2016 U.S. Open champion Angie Kerber, who beat Pliskova in that final. She didn't play this week, Kerber, but she is making her post-COVID debut now, and I'm intrigued to see what kind of form Kerber is in. Will her trademark defense be on display? It's going to be put to the test, though, immediately against Ajla Tomljanovic, the hard-hitting Australian who, she pummels the ball as hard as anyone on the WTA Tour. So a good test there early for Kerber. Petra Martic, the number 8 seed at the bottom, never flashy but always productive, and also number 12 Marketa Vondrashova, who loves to defend, make you hit one more ball. It's a tough group to predict. Part of me says that Kerber is going to make it through to the semifinals actually, and part of me says we might get an unseeded player. I think section 1 is totally up for grabs. Moving on to section number 2 now, and the 4 seed in this quarter is Naomi Osaka. If I had to single out one player as the favorite to win the US Open, I would say it is Osaka. She's playing some really great tennis right now. A great week at Cincy, grinded out a few 3-set wins. And when Osaka is playing with margin, she's so tough because she possesses such easy power. The courts in New York are playing quicker than usual, so it's going to be very difficult to defend against her. Can she keep her unforced errors count low? That's the key for Naomi. If so, she's got a great chance to win her 3rd ever major title. The huge blockbuster headline, though, in this section is that Osaka might be playing the 16-year-old Coco Gauff in the 3rd round, and they've met at the last 2 majors. A year ago in New York, it was Osaka running away with it, and then afterwards she had those memorable, very kind words for Coco, lauding the teen sensation. In the Australian Open, though, fast forward to January of this year, Coco returned the favor, and she dominated Osaka in 2 quick sets, so they're 1-1 all time, and for me, it won't be long before Coco is winning Grand Slams and just the number 1 player in the world. But I think give her a couple of years until she makes a Grand Slam final. So for now, I like Naomi this time around. Of course, it's not a given, though, that they meet because players like Anastasia Sevastova, Camila Giorgi, and Daria Kasatkina will all have a say in that. Number 14, the 14 seed Annette Kontaveit against Danielle Collins. That's an amazing first-round proposition. You've got 2 offensive players, both very emotional as well, wear their hearts on their sleeve. There's going to be a lot of screaming, grunting, come-ons, and that's just going to be get ready for a show with that first-round matchup. Plenty of baseline power in the bottom half, though, of section number 2, with players like number 11, Elena Rybakina, number 19, Yastremska, and number 6, Petra Kvitova. Rybakina leads the tour in aces this year. Yastremska has big game as well. But you get the feeling that Kvitova might be favored to make the quarterfinals. And if she does, I'm thinking Osaka-Kvitova in the quarterfinals, rematch of the 2019 Australian Open final. Now we're starting to talk. Get your popcorn ready for that one. And speaking of popcorn, section number 3 has it all. We've got the number 3 seed, Serena Williams, who is gunning again for that elusive 24th Grand Slam title. If she gets it, it would tie her with Margaret Court for the most major titles of all time. Serena, since becoming a mom, 3 Grand Slam final appearances, but losses in all 3. She's looked pretty good in both Lexington and Cincinnati. Vintage clutch serving, some big power as well. I just worry about her fitness. Can she last 7 rounds of grueling Grand Slam tennis? It's been hot and humid in New York the last week, and she kind of ran out of gas in the 3rd set versus Maria Sakkari this week. So does she have the energy to win 14 sets? I think so, but we're going to see. Serena meets fellow American Christian in the 1st round, and maybe another American, Sloane Stephens, in the 3rd round. But don't count your chickens before they hatch with Sloane, because the 2017 U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens has not had a great 2020 so far. She is just 1-7, and 5 of those 7 losses have come to players outside of the top 100. So Sloane really struggling at the moment. The aforementioned Sakkari in this group as well. Great to see her, one of the best movers in the game. Sakkari versus potentially number 22, Amanda Anisimova, in the 3rd round. That would be great. Anisimova has such clean power when she is in rhythm. Even with these quick courts, I think Sakkari, though, going to be able to track down a lot of balls. So that's an interesting offensive versus defense matchup there. How about the 10 seed Garbiñe Muguruza, playing in her first tournament since March? She was scorching 16-4 overall before the tour was suspended due to COVID-19. Made the Australian Open final, losing to Kenin there, but hitting the ball so masterfully again is Muguruza. She would be my dark horse to win this event. Such a flourishing partnership with Conchita Martinez, her coach, and number 7, Madison Keys. All she does is churn out results in New York. She's reached at least the round of 16 or better at the last 5 U.S. Opens, and Keys 4-1 in her career against Muguruza. So if they meet up in the 4th round, advantage Keys. And don't forget Donna Vekic, the number 18 seed who made the U.S. Open semifinals last season. Finally, in section number 4, it was a disappointing Western and Southern Open for the 2 seed at the bottom, Sofia Kenin. She was bounced in her first match versus Alice Cornet, but Kenin was on fire earlier in the year, of course winning the Australian Open, another title in Lyon as well. Great defensive game, a true counter puncher, and excellent mover. I think she plays better most of the time against power players than fellow counter punchers, actually. Kenin could face an extremely tricky opponent in the 3rd round, Ons Jabeur. Also, the living legend Kim Clijsters in this quarter. She'll play Alexandrova, and I like Kim's chances. If she can get her feet set, opponents are going to try to push her side to side, but if she can get set up, she still hits the ball great, even at an older age. I think Clijsters, a lot like Andy Murray, can still cause a couple of upsets. Maybe won't make a deep run because of the fitness disadvantages, but Clijsters is going to be a dangerous out. Number 16, Mertens, and number 9, Jo Konta, playing great ball right now. They're both in the semifinals of the Western and Southern Open. We also have another legend in Venus Williams. She plays Karolina Muchova in the 1st round. I've got her beating the number 20 seed there. And you see at the top, number 5, Aryna Sabalenka. She could meet fellow countrywoman Victoria Azarenka, the 2 Belarusians there. So nice to see Vika winning again, though. It's been a long road back for her, but 4 wins and counting at Cincy this week. She's gotten some tough draws, and Sabalenka will not be easy again for Azarenka, but give Azarenka credit. She's a future Hall of Famer who's accomplished just about everything you can in the sport, and for her to still have that hunger, that determination, that passion to keep competing and winning games is very commendable to see. So happy to see her back. As far as my predictions, give me Kerber in that 1st quarter. I'm also going to take Osaka, Muguruza, and then I have no idea for the 4th section. Maybe Elise Mertens, and I'm going to go out and say that Naomi Osaka wins the 2020 U.S. Open. All right, so thank you so much for watching this. If you enjoyed it or found it informational, please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media for more tennis content. Thanks a lot. I'll be back real soon. Cheers.